whomever, because everything that you experience on from me came exactly directly from me, which is a skill in and of itself. And to be able to communicate effectively, you're going to need to expand your lexicon, which is your personal vocabulary. And that's how you are technically competent and you communicate effectively. Those go together. And again, that's in the executive function of your brain so that you can take what you know, long term memory, process it through your working memory, and then use it to navigate through your day. So we've talked about be technically competent and we've talked about communicate effectively. What I will say is that the number one reason, or it used to be, it could be something else now because I haven't researched this in a minute, but one of the top reasons why people get divorced is irreconcilable differences. And basically, that's a breakdown in communication. That means we can't even talk no more. Every time we try to sit down, I want to punch you, I want to throw something at you. I'm not suggesting violence, but I'm saying that's how it feels. And we can't get past our differences. So let us part ways. And if there are children involved, let's find a way to co parent. But we can't, to quote Rodney King, we can't get along. So that's not going to be possible. So being an effective communicator happens when you focus on it daily. One of the 30-day challenges that I have is daily. And what it is you look up something, you research it, and then you go have a conversation with someone about the thing that you learned. And then you summarize what you learned and summarize the conversation and send it back. Why is that? Because the people that you are around already know you. You already have a way of communicating with them, and you just communicate with them or talk at them, not to them. And that's one of the 74 principles as well. But you're not actually communicating and learning and taking from someone. And the people who have done those challenges have been like, wow, you will find out who your true friends are, your true family members, because they won't want to keep hearing about it, or they will. And now you have all these engaged people in your life saying, hey, did you do your daily yet? What's your daily today? What did Dr. Diamond say today? And now that will give you the ability to start to identify the unaccountable people in your life. It will allow you to do that. If you want to discuss your nonfiction reading and nobody wants to listen to you, you got some unaccountable people in your life and you need to let that shit fall apart, especially if you go above and beyond, which is also one of the 74 principles of real leadership for them. And they can't sit down and have a 15-minute conversation with you about something that you're learning. These are all signs. And as I mentioned before, I don't tell you what an unaccountable person looks like. I've never given you, and I'm a former military police officer with a master's degree in criminal justice. So I know how to say a person was 6'2", this is what they weigh, they have a tattoo on their right arm. I've never said that because the unaccountable people in your life don't look anything like the unaccountable people in my life. So why would we describe them from a physicality perspective? This is what an unaccountable person looks like. No, these are the behaviors of an unaccountable person. So listen to what people do. And now listen is also one of the 74 principles of real leadership. In fact, it's twice. It's in there twice because you got two ears, and some of you have heard this. So you should be listening twice as much as you are talking. I was a terrible listener back in the day. In my teens and early 20s, I wasn't listening to shit you was saying. You said some shit I didn't want to hear. I was arguing with you and trying to get into a physical altercation with you. And it was my first sergeant in Korea and my company commander that taught me how to listen and the importance of listening and why I needed to do it if I was going to be effective as a commissioned officer in the military. And so some of the things that you can do when you're listening, and then I had an employee later in life and said, you don't listen, because I used to be at my desk like, huh, what do you want? Yeah, I got it. And so she said, you're not listening to me. So I had to turn around, stop what I'm doing, look, maintain eye contact, let the person finish, and then ask clarifying questions. And then if you need to follow up, follow up. And so those are the reasons, some of the reasons why you need to be an effective listener. What I've also found is because I only communicate through email is that it allows people to be honest. It allows people to be honest, which is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, and to establish trust and be trustworthy. You trust me with the information that you're sending to me because I have established trust. I am an open book. I am extremely transparent. I'm not about to sit here and lie and say something was grand if it wasn't. I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, the happy, the sad, the mad, the glad, all of that together because this is what real leadership looks like. It's transparent leadership. And if I am lying and now skeletons are falling out my mouth, then I'm a hypocrite and I'm no different than anybody else.